Hold up. Before you hit that skip ad button faster than the private dodging KP duty, listen up. You think you know about VA disability claims? Think again, Buttercup. I've seen more misconceptions about this process than a recruiter's promise of guaranteed MOS. We're about to bust some myths wider than a howitzer round. So buckle up, because this ain't your drill sergeant's lecture. Look, navigating the VA system can feel like trying to find a working latrine on a field exercise. That's why I created my VA claims course. It's designed to help you whether you're fresh out of service or a seasoned veteran who's been fighting this fight longer than the weekend pass line. We'll break down the complexities, decode the jargon, and give you the tools you need to get the benefits you deserve. Check out my website at simplevetbenefits.com. That's simplevetbenefits.com. It's like having a seasoned battle buddy in your corner. So misconception number 1, I need a lawyer to file a claim. You don't need a lawyer to file a claim. It's like saying you need a 5-star general to change a light bulb. Sure, they can do it, but is it necessary? Absolutely not. You can absolutely file a claim yourself. Now, lawyers can be helpful in some cases, especially if your claim is complex, but don't fall for the trap that it's mandatory. Think of it this way. You wouldn't call in an airstrike to deal with a rogue squirrel in your attic, would you? Unless it's a really big squirrel. Why this misconception exists? Several factors contribute to this myth. Complexity of the system. The VA claims process can be confusing and overwhelming, with its own jargon, regulations, and procedures. This complexity can lead veterans to believe they need an expert to help. Fear of denial. Veterans may fear their claims will be denied if they don't have professional representation. Marketing by attorneys. Some law firms heavily market their services, making veterans believe representation is essential. Success stories, sometimes misleading. Veterans may hear stories of others who hired veterans and won their claims, leading them to believe this is the only path to success. And here's why it's wrong. VA's own resources. The VA provides numerous resources to help veterans file claims themselves, including online guides, information centers, and veteran service officers, aka VSOs. Filing a VA claim is free. Hiring a lawyer, of course, comes with a cost, often a percentage of any back pay awarded. VSOs as an alternative. VSOs are accredited representatives who can assist veterans with their claims free of charge. They can provide guidance, help gather evidence, and even represent veterans during the appeals process. When a lawyer might be helpful. While not required, a lawyer can be beneficial in specific situations, like complex medical issues. If a veteran has multiple complex medical conditions, or if their disability is difficult to diagnose or link to their service, a lawyer with expertise in medical evidence might be helpful. Denied claims and appeals. If a veteran's claim has been denied multiple times, or if they are facing a complex appeal, a lawyer specializing in VA appeals could be beneficial. Unique circumstances. In some unique legal or procedural circumstances, a lawyer might be necessary. What are your experiences with lawyers and the VA claims process? Let me know in the comments. Misconception number 2, my medical records are all I need. Okay, you've got a stack of medical records thicker than a field manual. That's great, but here's the deal. Medical records are just one piece of the puzzle. You also need to demonstrate how your disability impacts your daily life. It's like having all the parts for your Humvee, but no mechanic to put it together. You need to connect the dots. Lay statements, buddy letters, and other supporting evidence are crucial. Let's delve deeper into this misconception. Why this misconception exists. Focus on diagnosis. Veterans often focus on getting a diagnosis from their doctor, believing that the diagnosis itself is the key to getting benefits. Lack of understanding of the process. The VA claims process requires more than just a diagnosis. It requires demonstrating the functional impact of the disability. Over-reliance on medical professionals. Some veterans may assume their doctors will handle all the necessary paperwork and descriptions of their limitations. Why this is wrong? Service connection. Medical records are essential for establishing a service connection, proving the disability originated or was aggravated during military service. However, this is just the first step. Functional impairment. The VA rates disabilities based on their functional impairment. This means how much the condition limits a veteran's ability to work and perform daily activities. Medical records may describe the diagnosis, but they don't always fully capture the extent of the impairment. Subjective symptoms. Many disabilities involve subjective symptoms like pain, fatigue, or mental health issues, which are not always quantifiable in medical records. What's needed beyond medical records? Lay statements. These are statements from the veteran themselves, describing their symptoms, limitations, and how the disability affects their daily life. They provide a personal perspective that medical records may lack. Buddy statements. These are statements from other people, family members, friends, fellow service members, who have witnessed the veteran's struggles and can corroborate their claims. They add credibility and context. Other supporting evidence. This can include anything that helps demonstrate the impact of the disability, such as work records, showing decreased performance or inability to work, disability evaluations from doctors or therapists, photos or videos documenting limitations, personal journals detailing daily struggles. Tell me your thoughts. Have you ever had issues with your medical records being sufficient for your claim? Drop a comment. Misconception number 3. Filing multiple claims at once is the best strategy. Whoa there, trigger happy. Filing a bunch of claims at once might seem like a good idea, but it can actually backfire. It's like trying to fire a machine gun in all directions at once. You're more likely to miss more than hit. Focus on your strongest claims first. Build a solid foundation, then branch out. Quality over quantity, people. Always. Let's dissect the misconception. The core misconception. Many veterans believe that submitting numerous claims at the same time increases their chances of getting approved for at least something. They reason that more claims equal more opportunities for success. Why does this misconception even exist? Overwhelm and urgency. The claims process can feel overwhelming, and veterans may feel pressured to get everything filed as quickly as possible. I know I did. This can lead to a shotgun approach of filing everything at once. Another one is belief in numbers. The idea that more is better can be persuasive. Veterans may think that sheer volume of claims will impress the VA or increase their chances of approval. Misunderstanding of the process. Veterans may not understand that each claim is evaluated individually and requires specific evidence. Why this is wrong? Diluted focus. Filing multiple claims at once can spread the veteran's efforts too thin. It becomes harder to gather sufficient evidence and build a strong case for each claim. Increased processing time. A large number of claims can slow down the entire process. The VA has to review each claim individually, and the backlog of claims can lead to delays. Higher risk of denials. If claims are filed without sufficient evidence, they are more likely to be denied. Multiple denials can be discouraging and can make future claims more difficult. Confusion and frustration. Managing multiple claims simultaneously can be confusing and frustrating for the veteran. It can be difficult to keep track of deadlines, requests for information, and other aspects of each individual claim. Here is a better strategy. Prioritize strongest claims. Veterans should focus on their most compelling claims first. These are claims for which they have the strongest evidence and the clearest connection to their military service. Build a solid foundation. Gather all necessary documentation, including medical records, lay statements, buddy letters, and other supporting evidence. Ensure that the evidence clearly demonstrates the service connection and the functional impairment caused by the disability. Sequential filing. After establishing a solid foundation with the strongest claims, Veterans can then address other conditions. This allows them to dedicate their time and resources to each claim, increasing the likelihood of success. Have you ever tried filing multiple claims at once? What was your experience? Misconception number 4. The VA will automatically find all my service-connected disabilities. Bless your heart. The VA is there to help, but they aren't mind readers. They're not going to magically uncover every single ailment you've got. You need to be proactive. Do your research, document everything, and clearly articulate your disabilities. It's your responsibility to represent your case, and not theirs to guess it. Think of it like this. You wouldn't expect a chow hall to know your specific dietary needs without telling them, right? Share your thoughts. Have you ever felt like you had to do all the legwork yourself? Why this misconception exists? Trust in the system. Veterans often have a strong sense of trust in its mission to support them. This trust can lead to the assumption that the VA will care for everything. Now, I know a lot of you are pretty negative too, so. Lack of understanding of the process. Veterans may not fully understand the VA's workload and the limitations of its resources. They may not realize the VA relies heavily on the veteran to provide information and evidence. The passive approach. Some veterans may take a passive approach to their claims, assuming that the VA will do all the work for them. Why this is wrong? The VA's primary focus is on evaluating specific conditions that the veteran claims are service-connected. They don't have the resources to conduct a comprehensive medical investigation of every veteran's entire health history. Think about it. Burden of proof. The burden of proof lies in the veteran's ability to demonstrate their disability is service-connected. This means the veteran must provide evidence, including medical records, lay statements, and other supporting documentation. Limited information. The VA may have access to some of the veteran's medical records, but they may not have a complete picture of the veteran's health history, especially if the veteran received treatment outside of the VA system. Just like me, because after I got out of the military, I started seeing my medical provider through my job's insurance. What veterans should do? Be proactive. Veterans must take an active role in their claims process. This includes researching potential service-connected conditions, gathering evidence, and clearly articulating their disabilities to the VA. Thorough documentation. Veterans should meticulously document all of their health issues, including when they started, how they affect their daily life, and any potential connection to their military service. Clear articulation. Veterans must explain their disabilities to the VA both in writing and during any examinations. They should not assume that the VA will understand the full extent of their conditions without a clear explanation. Seek assistance. Veterans can seek assistance from VSOs or other accredited representatives who can help them navigate their claims process and gather the necessary evidence. Share your thoughts. Misconception number 5. Once my claim is approved, I'm set for life. Hold your horses. VA ratings aren't set in stone. They can be reevaluated. It's like your PT score. You gotta maintain it. If your condition improves, your rating might decrease. Conversely, if it worsens, you might be eligible for an increase. Don't get complacent. Stay informed and keep your documentation updated. What are your opinions on the VA's reevaluation process? Let's discuss it in the comments. Now, why does this misconception exist? Desire for stability. Veterans naturally want stability and security, especially when it comes to their health and finances. The idea of a permanent rating provides a sense of certainty. Lack of understanding of the system. Veterans may not fully understand that the VA disability ratings are based on the current severity of their conditions, and they are subject to change. Focus on the initial rating. Veterans often focus so much on getting their initial rating that they don't think about the possibility of future reevaluations. I know I did. And that's also why they tried to decrease me. Why this is wrong. Fluctuating conditions. Many medical conditions can improve or worsen over time. The VA's rating system is designed to reflect the current level of disability. Duty to reevaluate. The VA has a duty to reevaluate veterans' disabilities periodically to ensure that the ratings accurately reflect their current functional impairment. This is not meant to be punitive, but it's a standard procedure. Now, the VA generally reevaluates veterans somewhere around 3 to 5 years until you get to that, and then they start to slow down. And then they usually start to leave you alone. Improved conditions. If a veteran's condition improves significantly, their rating may be reduced. This is based on medical evidence showing a decrease in functional impairment. Worsening conditions. Conversely, if a veteran's condition worsens, they may be eligible for a higher rating. This also requires medical evidence demonstrating an increase in functional impairment. What veterans need to know. Reevaluation is possible. Veterans should understand that their disability is not necessarily permanent and can be subject to reevaluation unless your status is permanent in total, which is usually at the 100% level. Maintain documentation. Veterans should keep their medical records updated and document any changes in their condition, whether it's an improvement or worsening. Now, this is something I failed at, which is why I went through my decrease. I didn't continue to update my medical records to let the VA know that everything stayed the same. Be proactive. If a veteran's condition worsens, they should proactively contact the VA and request a reevaluation. They should assume the VA will automatically know about the change. Now, this can be tricky because if you're like me, I tried to go for an increase and they ended up trying to decrease me. You have to make sure you have enough medical evidence to back it up, and you prove this at your CMP exam. Stay informed. Veterans should stay informed about the VA's policies and procedures regarding reevaluations. What are your opinions on the VA's reevaluation process? Let's discuss it in the comments. Now let's take a closer look at a misconception regarding total disability individual unemployability, which is TDIU. Many veterans think this is for those who are completely bedridden. That is so not true. TDIU is for veterans who can't maintain substantially gainful employment due to their service-connected disabilities. Even if they can still do some work, it's a crucial benefit, but it's often misunderstood. We'll explore the eligibility criteria, the application process, and common pitfalls. Remember, applied knowledge is power. Now, why does this misconception exist? Well, the name's misleading. The name total disability individual unemployability can be intimidating and misleading. Veterans may interpret this literally, thinking it requires complete incapacitation. Lack of awareness. Many veterans simply are unaware of what TDIU is and who qualifies. It's a complex benefit with specific eligibility criteria and are not always well understood. Confusion with other benefits. Many veterans may confuse TDIU with other disability benefits or have a general misunderstanding of how the VA rates disabilities. What TDIU actually is. TDIU is not for veterans. It's not for veterans who are completely bedridden or unable to perform any activity. It's for veterans who are unable to maintain that substantially gainful employment due to their service-connected disabilities. Now that's the VA's actual lingo. Even if they can still perform some tasks or work part-time, substantially gainful employment. This generally means employment that earns more than the poverty level and is not specifically designed or sheltered employment. Service-connected disabilities. The inability to work must be due to the service-connected disabilities, either physical or mental. Combined rating. While not always required, veterans often have a combined disability rating of at least 70%, with at least one disability rated at 40% or higher. However, it's important to note that if a veteran does not meet these percentage requirements, they may still be eligible for TDIU if they can prove they cannot maintain substantially gainful employment. Now, I know I've said that a lot, but I really want to hit that home. Substantially gainful employment. Why TDIU is important. TDIU provides compensation at the 100% disability rate to veterans who cannot work due to their conditions. Even if their combined disability rating is lower than 100%, this can make a significant difference in the veteran's financial stability, which pays at that 100% disability level. So basically you can have 70% and it bumps you up to that 100%. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Not applying. The biggest pitfall is not applying at all due to the misconception about who qualifies. Veterans who are struggling to maintain employment due to their disabilities should explore the possibility of TDIU. Insufficient evidence. Gathering strong evidence is crucial. This includes medical records, lay statements from employers and coworkers, and documentation of job searches and failed attempts to maintain employment. Misunderstanding the criteria. Veterans need to understand their specific criteria for TDIU and how it differs from other disability benefits. Seeking assistance from a VSO or other accredited representative can be very helpful. All right, folks, that's a wrap on our top 5 misconceptions. Now I want to hear from you. What other VA claim myths have you encountered? Share your experiences, your questions, and your frustrations in the comments below. Let's build a community here. And don't forget to visit simplevetbenefits.com for more in-depth information and resources. Now, are you ready to unlock the secrets to maximizing your disability benefits? In my next video, we're going to delve deep into the world of secondary conditions and how they can help you get up to a 90% combined rating, including the often overlooked connection between tinnitus and other disabilities. You don't want to miss this. Trust me, it's more important than finding a cold beer after a long day in the field. See you there.